All right, good morning, everyone. This is Nithin Ramachandra from the NR Sports Show. This is episode 911. I'm joined by a really special guest. His name is Kyle Arrington, a former NFL cornerback. He won the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. And if everybody knows that, remembers that game, that was crazy. Well, to get to that, and also he played for the Eagles, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Baltimore Ravens. He went to Hofstra for college, and I'm really looking forward to this interview. And Kyle, thanks for joining the show today. It's truly an honor. And how are you and your family doing?
Absolutely. Well, pleasure is absolutely all mine. Thank you for having me. So you got the full bio blast. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Everyone's doing well though. As long as family's good, I'm great.
Oh, and also I forgot to put in there. You're an author too. You have a book out there called "Piece It Together," which we'll get to also, which is amazing.
There you go.
Yeah. So
I was gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
yeah. So I want to start off with your childhood growing up. Obviously, you grew up in Maryland. What was it like growing up as a kid in Maryland? And when did you get into the game of football? And who was your role model when you were growing up?
Well, you know what they say, man, crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does, right? Now, now I'm growing up in Maryland. So I grew up in Oxon Hill, so kind of like tale of two cities, if you will. First spent the first half of my adolescence in Oxon Hill, which is a more of a city, urban area. Then my family moved us to Akakeek, which is it's about as rural as it gets, So one horse town, I like to say. I think they have two horses now at this point. So no, but it was a great childhood experience though, man. Great loving parents who we didn't have everything, but it felt like we did, So any and everything my sister and I wanted to do, they were great role models. We saw at an early age, what when hard work, dedication, sacrifice looks like.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up? And obviously, when did you start playing the game of football? And what was your process like? Your training routine like to become the player you were right now?
I started playing. I was a late bloomer, so I did 2 years of little league, and then I got into high school. But I was on the team, but I do a whole bunch of playing in terms of. So I only really played 1 year of varsity football. I fancied myself a basketball player. Well, growing up in Prince George's County, Maryland, if any, well, I guess what it like to say, right? Yeah. So growing up in Prince George's County area, for the longest time, I don't know what the statistics look like now, but we had the most McDonald's All-Americans per capita, when it came to basketball. So I just popular sports, something that you just love to do, love to play. And guys like Kevin Durant, so many guys like from the area, right? Who So like I said, long and short was I fancied myself a hooper. But when I had to make that final decision, I guess what eggs I was going to put into that basket my senior year, it was football. And and I think that's really when that transition from my junior to my senior year, that work ethic really manifested, took off because I was probably about $155 soaking wet at that time. So going into my senior, like I said, I put on the 20 pounds, just nothing, all natural, just strictly ate, breathed, lived, dreamed, my craft, like I said, the weight room, run up and down that neighborhood. You name it, everything I had to do to try to attain a scholarship. Out there, that was really my one and only goal, which is try to get that free education. And so, I did, did what I had to do to get that. I went to Hofstra, I just said Hofstra University. Like I said, got the education, and then, the rest was history from there.
Wow. Yeah. So speaking of playing multiple sports, how important was for you to play multiple sports? And now these days, you see kids now playing multiple sports and learning different aspects of it, and before choosing on the sport they want to play. So how important is it now for kids just to play multiple sports?
Oh man, I can't put enough of an emphasis on, especially today's day and age that we're living through. Just the whole the COVID, COVID, post-COVID, or we're still kind of in COVID, within the pandemic itself, so we're still trying to see what the new normal is going to look like, right? But just when it comes to sports, it's extremely important because multiple sports, because especially as parents, now I went through the process myself. Now I'm a parent, 3 kids. I want to throw as much stuff at the wall to kind of see what sticks. And And also with that, different sports teach different nuances, I should say. Like all sports in general, there's a lot of parallels when it comes to life lessons. But different sports, they have certain nuances and others don't. So I try to, like I said, throw as many as you can. Let's throw as many stuff against the wall as you can, see what sticks. But also just for the experience in of itself, though. For your child.
Wow. Yeah. So for you, in high school, before when you were getting a senior year in high school, what were the main things that you learned to become a better football player, and then waiting for those college offers to come in and the scholarship offers, and what were the main things that you learned as a high school football player senior year?
Patience. I think, yeah, that's first thing that comes to mind right out the gate. Was just patience, because I was a kid, like, only did 1 year of varsity football, so yeah. I flew under the radar. I wanted, as bad as I wanted it, I still had to. First and foremost, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. God-fearing man. So it's not up to me. At the end of the day, it's up to him. Yeah. So I had to learn that. And at times I had to learn that, hard, a little harder than you think. Than I would like to have thought. So definitely pace. But if you do the work, yeah. You will reap the fruits of your labor, one way or the other.
Hey, like some people think already when some players become late bloomers and hasn't started football and maybe like late in high school or college, they think it's gonna be a bust already. But it doesn't matter about that. It matters about hard work and how you get there. And obviously you had a great career, in my opinion. You're a Super Bowl champ. You got a trophy out of it too. So it doesn't matter how you start and it's a matter how you work hard, in my opinion.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of that, especially because we didn't have, when I was growing up, we didn't have social media.
Yeah.
And as many pros as it has, I don't want to say cons, but it's give and take with everything. And just in a social media prevalent world that we live in, man, you really feel like that we all want that overnight success, that microwave success, and it doesn't happen like that, as much as social media may lead you to believe. Right. You have to constantly, continually, day in and day out, put in the work and really strive for what it is that makes you happy, what it is that you want in life. Because oftentimes we'll give up and try to pivot and do something else. And instead of chasing money, don't chase money, chase happiness. Right. If you do what you love, sooner or later somebody's gonna pay you for it. So just keep fighting. Just keep fighting the good fight. If that 2 cents is worth anything.
Yeah, so let's get to your tell our fans about your college recruitment process. This is my favorite time of the year, seeing high school players get one step, 2 steps closer to their dream. And then finally signing that contract for college. So for you, how many offers did you get, and what made you choose Hofstra University?
No, you're right. No, when you say contract, it is a contract because it is a business. People might think associate scholarship, right? But no, they might not necessarily associate college as a business when they're out of when they sign that agreement, that scholarship agreement out of high school, but essentially it is a contract. Yeah. Because whenever there's money involved, there's a contract. And a lot of times we don't think that way. When we're 16, 17, 18 years old, we're not thinking as a professional, maybe necessarily, right out the gate of that age, in which we have to kind of change that mindset, because whenever there's a transaction involved, like I said, it's a business. Yep. And now who you are as a personal, your personal brand is your business. So once again, it's the kind of social media, environment that we're in. One thing you say, one thing you post, one thing somebody else might post that you might be in, associated with, right? So you just gotta always kind of stay conscious of that. Is one thing I will add. But just back to your question in terms of that process, what was going on maybe through my mind was sense of relief, jubilee, joy, all those things, all those emotions, because like I said, ultimately I do what I do because I owe it to my parents. Like, they gave everything that they have to put me in a position to be successful. And that's how I felt like, I could pay that forward.
So for you, what was the experience like playing at Hofstra? Obviously, that's a great college program for academics and sports too. And a lot of players from that college went to professional sports. For example, if you look at the NBA, Speedy Claxton came from there, and then you had Kenneth Fareed came from there. So what was it like for your experience playing at Hofstra for you as a football player?
Yeah, no, we have some great players. Some football is unfortunately, we're still fighting to revitalize that football program right now. But we have some great guys come out. Before my time, Wayne Corbett, Kamal Roy, guys like that. Even a few years with kind of my same tenure, Marcus, a few years I should say before my tenure, like guys like Marcus Colson, Steve Bowen, Willie Colon went on to have a tremendous successful career. So there's a lot of great talent, a lot of great experience. They say iron sharpens iron. So with all that talent with them, I think when they were seniors, I might have been a sophomore. So yeah, so suffice it to say they got me right. But just the experience and the atmosphere alone, it's something I'm grateful for, because as a kid growing up in Prince George's County, Maryland, it's I was growing up with probably about 75% African American. Still a predominantly African American county. But all you do is you look and you see people that look like you.
Right.
So when I went to Hofstra, right out of high school, 17, 18-year-old kid, for the first time, really being around, people who more so don't look like me than anything. So that just kind of like the experience off the field is something that I'm grateful for as well, because that's what the world is. It's a melting pot of different, races, creeds, religions, ideologies, you name it. And so I think one word that comes to mind is just something that is very valuable that you just can't put a price on is exposure.
Yeah, speaking of Speedy Classing and Willie Colon, we had both of them on the show last year. It was an honor talking to Speedy and Willie Colon, and obviously both great athletes in their respective sports. And
the GOATs.
Yeah. So for you, obviously living the Hofstra dream, are you speaking? Obviously, they're trying to get the football program. Are you helping in any way to help to get the football program for them, or?
Doing what I can. I think we're all just trying to do our part. There was a petition going around and signed that. Whatever. Just waiting for the next step to see what those are, and hopefully we'll get it back sooner than later.
So for you, obviously your draft experience was interesting. Obviously, you were undrafted, and how tough is it for you and your family not getting drafted, waiting for your name to be called, and obviously you got to your dream, and after the draft, that's when things get more crazier. So for you, what was that like, the draft process and then leading into the phone calls after the draft?
It was nerve-wracking, because this is it's your first career out of college, and whatever that career is, and whatever the case may be, just that whatever that first opportunity within that career field, it's gonna, a lot of times, I won't necessarily say dictate, because just you're not, because your circumstances will never dictate what may come of that opportunity, but just, I guess maybe the best way to put it is, it's just a lot of emotions you experience. Just because it's something that you do from the very beginning, when you strap on those cleats, put on that helmet, when you're a kid. And who doesn't imagine, playing at the highest level? And so now that moment, kind of come full circle. So like I said, a lot of emotions to process. But yeah, so when Philly gave me a call and said that they would, if I didn't, I think it was like going into the 7th round. They said if I, wasn't drafted, they want to take me as a top, they high priority free agent, one of the high priority free agents, and that, that ended up being the case.
Right.
And it was so. And just to backtrack for a quick second, it just comes down to managing expectations too, a little, a lot of it. Just I knew I could go anywhere from the 4th to undrafted, 4th round, 4th, 5th round, to be, possibly being undrafted, and wish that was the case. And so I just told myself, man, you know what, doesn't matter, 4th round, 5th round, 6, 7, as long as I get an opportunity, I'm gonna make the most of it. And like I said, got the opportunity, and 9, 10 years later, that was kind of the story.
Yeah, and obviously the Philadelphia Eagles gave you the opportunity, and how grateful are you? The Philly gave you the opportunity, and What was it like playing for the city of Philly on Lincoln Financial Field, playing underneath Coach
Mm,
Andy Reid that time? Yeah, you played with a lot of great talent. If you look at the roster, you
mm,
had Donovan McNabb, who we had on the show, Brian Westbrook. You had Trent Cole, Deshaun Jackson, the speedster. You
mm,
had a lot of great Jamal Jackson. I can go down the list here. So, what
mm.
was your time? What was your time like in Philly?
Oh man, like you just said, man, a lot of talent, a lot of legends. Just a experience I will forever, cherish. I think one of the first persons I saw, enter the locker room was Brian, Brian Dawkins, right?
Yeah, Brian Dog.
Mr. The X-Man himself,
Yeah, the
Wolverine
goat.
himself. So he had I'll tell you how much of a beat. He was the only player only guy that I've ever seen have two lockers.
Wow.
So he had one locker as Brian Dawkins, and he had another one for his for his alter ego. He just had another one dedicated to Wolverine, right? X-Man. So it was just a great, it was a great experience playing under Andy Reid and playing under, like I said, just a lot of the insight and nuggets that I was able to take away, from legend and from veteran players, like as you just named.
Yeah, so speaking of that defense, what was it like playing in the secondary with the Brian Dawkins? Yeah, Quinton Michael. So what was that like? What was it like learning from those two type of players?
Yeah, B-Dog, Quentin Michaels, Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown. I think that was Asante Samuel's first year. I think Sean McDermott was our position coach. He's now, the head coach at Buffalo. Turn that program around, doing a heck of a job. So it suffices to say, like I said, a lot of leadership, a lot of experience, and just a lot of guys, just did it. It's not only about doing it, but doing it the right way. And so yeah, so added, it all. One thing I like to say, everything like SHIT, excuse me, it's part of my French for those who know how to spell, rolls downhill.
Yeah.
So like I said, just a great organization, great ownership, great coaches, and great leaders all around.
Yeah. So as a defense, what's it like seeing the offense go out to business every snap? And you obviously you had a great talented Donovan McNabb. You had
Mhm.
Jason Avant, Brent Selleck, Deshaun
Mhm.
Jackson still going at it on a high level with the Rams now. So,
Mhm.
what's that like seeing as a defense, seeing the offense go out there? And as a defense, does it take a little pressure off you knowing that you have the talented offense like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Gives you some comfort. A little
Yeah.
bit of more of a lot more comfort, and you could take at least a few sips of water. And, a few sips of water, a few sips of Gatorade. Like get a little comfort on them. I could kind of stretch out a little bit on the bench, just watch them do their thing, and as opposed to let me hurry up, make sure I chug on my water because I'm going right back out on the field kind of thing. But no, man. So I had the luxury of experience that in Philly. Definitely had a luxury experience in that in New England. Obviously, I'm sure we'll get to that. But yeah, no, it's a definitely it's an added. I mean, it's just an added overall benefit to not only to the defense but to the overall team success.
Yeah, so now flipping gears, so now you go to Tampa Bay, another great team. Obviously, the Super Bowl champ from last year, but you got to play with Jeff Garcia. We had him on the show too, actually. And so, what was it like playing in the city of Tampa Bay and those fans? Then, speaking of fan bases, you play with a lot of great you play for a lot of great fan bases. And so, let me ask you this real quick: out of all the teams you play for, which is more which fan base is like more like crazier for you?
Oh man, there's a lot of great takeaways from in different facets from each city. This is on the subject, on the topic of Tampa. Just a tremendous city within itself. Especially as a 21, 22-year-old kid. Fresh out of college still, relatively fresh out of college still. I mean, what more can you ask for, right? Yeah. Going to West, I was on the practice squad at that time. So working 3-4 days a week and just getting to experience the city, kind of living life, enjoying life. After that, I mean, what better place could you ask to do that and Tampa, right? So it was amazing. And then the fan base is just surreal as well. They're just just as the years have gone by, the Buccaneers, obviously, the Lightning. I mean, just a great town for sports.
Yeah, like for me, the craziest fan base is the Eagle. I'm a Cowboy fan. I can never wear my Cowboy stuff in Philly because they're gonna trash talk me. So, the Philly is
Yeah, yeah. Hey, but they might even do you one better. So I just keep your head on the swivel. No, I'm
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, so and also in Tampa Bay, actually, you got to learn from Rondé Barber, and then you also
Mhm.
played with Talib. So what was that like getting to learn from the GOAT with Rondé Barber and Talib, those two types?
Oh man, you had the best of both worlds. I mean, Talib was young and just raw, young, raw, and just talented. So it was just you just kind of in awe as a guy like that who, like I said, I'm a hard worker. All I know is work to to kind of get it. But not to say that Talib didn't put in the work, but just some guys I don't have to explain to you. They just just have that God given talent. So just to kind of come in and see Talib, display that was great to see, and then to see on the flip side, Rondé, still talent with way, a lot of talent in his own right, but kind of on back end of his career, we got to rely more on the mental, on the mental and cerebral part of your game, and so to see kind of like I said the best of both worlds in that regard was something, something to witness.
So so battling with obviously when you were in Philly, we got Brian Dawkins, Quinton Michael, and all Asante Samuel, and obviously Rondé Barber and Tilly. Did they make with battling them with them and during practices? Did it make you like a better defensive back by playing with them?
Absolutely. Everyone in my career, even I know high school, college, professional, like I said, iron sharpens iron, as I just mentioned. And so if you want to, if you want to be the best, you gotta go against the best. And I'm not just talking about just your opponent, when it's game day. I mean, you're battle, you're going against your teammates. While you see them, you compete against them the most, day in and day out. And so to be able to have the opportunity to do that with some legends, as you name, I name.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't get any better as a competitor.
All right, let's go to the Patriots now. That's when you were won the Super Bowl. But New England, to be honest, the two the most the best franchise when it comes to organization, a well-run organization for the players and the coaching staff is the Patriots. They know what they're doing with the business. So for you, you play with Tom Brady. You play with a lot of great players, obviously with your guy Lee Bowden. But take us to that Super Bowl run for you when you guys played Seattle, and the Patriots has been been involved in crazy Super Bowls in their career. But for you against Seattle, where at the last second Russell Wilson threw the ball, everybody thought they were going to run it with Marshawn Lynch, but no, that didn't happen. But for you, just take us to that run, that Super Bowl run, and what was the message that Bill Belichick gave you guys for that run?
Yeah, no, I asked quite a few questions there. I guess I'll just start with that the Patriot way to begin with. So just kind of coming in into that organization was like I said, everything starts at the top. Mr. Kraft is a tremendous owner, tremendous person, very hands-on, and he's kind of heavily involved with the players, and that not in a business or management kind of way, but just on a personal level. So which was always great to see and comforting to see as well. And but that year in 2000 was at 2014, 15 in particular. We had tremendous talent. Obviously, we had Revis, we had Browner in the secondary. We just had a lot of talent that year. I mean, we have talent every year. Don't get me wrong, but had bringing guys like Browner and Revis who bring in so many strengths in their own right, in their own regard. I mentioned Rondé, being a very cerebral player. I mean, always, but even more so towards the end of his career. I mean, I don't know if it gets any, better than Darrell, Darrell than Revis. I mean, he's almost about as cerebral as it gets, man. Just kind of knowing what the receiver's going to do before the receiver does. So just to witness his process and how he kind of goes about it, week in and week out. was something to see as well. And so a lot of great takeaways there. Just that game and then itself, Super Bowl, obviously, we had great year, great season, great run, even including the playoffs. I particularly didn't have the best day at the office. So kind of during that last sequence, I was, as any Patriots fan would know, I was on the sideline. Malcolm came in, and that's when he got the pick and kind of birthed, that birthed his career up to this point. But like I said, I'm a firm believer everything happened for a reason. So maybe that was all a part of that was all part of his plan. And look what Malcolm has been able to do. That was just no one hit or no one fluke that he did. I mean, he's put together a very successful career in his own right. So like I said, I mean, everything happened for a reason.
Yeah. So speaking of that play, did you want it to go back in? Did you ask Bill Belichick to put me in, coach, or he decided to substitute?
Nah, it don't work like that. I just leave it at that. Don't work like that.
Yeah, but so I want to ask you though, did you have, as a defense, when you guys were sideline, were you shocked that they threw the ball, Russell Wilson, because everybody thought he was going to run the ball with Marshawn Lynch, but were you guys shocked that he threw it?
I think we all were. I think maybe even Seattle was. So I mean, it's football's a game of chess. So if everybody's thinking run, maybe they were thinking they won't be expecting pass, right? But one thing I will say that Bill would mention a lot would be that a lot of teams will lose football games more so than they go out and win them. So that may be kind of case in point in that situation.
Yeah. So what was it feeling like once you got Malcolm Butler got that interception, and once you guys won the Super Bowl? What was that feeling like, going back to the locker room, celebrating, smoking those cigars, and just having fun and realizing that you guys did it, got the trophy, worked hard, and accomplished the goal? So what was that feeling like for you guys?
Was the ultimate goal, right? And like I said, it's something that you dream about when you put on those cleats, you put on that helmet for the first time. You think about playing on the highest level at the highest stage. And like I said, it was kind of a bittersweet, obviously, a moment for me individually, because like I said, I didn't have the best day at the office, but as tremendous as a run and part of that whole run that I was throughout the year, and even throughout my tenure in New England, it's just like I said, it was a little bittersweet moment for me individually. Not to sound selfish in a way, because I know it's a team sport first and foremost. But I think we all, you can't be a competitor if you don't kind of have that mindset just a little bit, in terms of you want to win, but you want to be a good part of that success.
So this is a two-part question. So now, looking back at your career, you had a great career, in my opinion, and playing with great organizations, playing with great teammates, amazing coaches, and being undrafted and proving, working hard and getting to your goal. How grateful are you to be in this position as a former football player? And now, and the next part to this is obviously you have a book out there, Piece It Together. Where can people find that book, and what's that been like for you, transitioning from NFL to after NFL?
The transition has been great. It's been I fortunate, I would say, because a lot of guys they don't in terms of the transition, they I don't know, I kind of have it, I guess maybe the best way to put it, in terms of being like politically correct. No, I mean, I'm just fortunate, because a lot of guys, we don't always have a plan, and guys will think, I'm getting better. The league is doing a better job of providing resources and, educating guys more so to kind of think, along those lines, and have that mindset that football, it's such a finite career, it doesn't last forever. So, kind of use it as a vehicle in which, it's kind of the mindset that I had as well. So I think it was a vehicle that allowed me to do the things that I'm able to do now, and which was so me and my wife and I, we have a nonprofit. So we honestly, just between you and me and everybody's listening, right? I think I get more fulfillment in terms of what I'm doing now than football ever provided me, and in terms of the stuff we do in the community. And but not to say I'm not grateful for football, because it allowed me, was a vehicle to put me in this exact moment in time to do what we do, through our nonprofit, and for the youth. in our community. So, and with that, I did, put out a children's book as well, just with the same message, just trying to lay a foundation to, because, as a father, 3 kids, I want, I don't just want the best for my kids. I want the best for all of our kids, because my kids, we all had to grow up and navigate, in this world that we're living in. And so really the book is called Piece It Together. And because that's something that we do every single day of our lives. And that's something that, whether we realize it or not. And so it's kind of a double entendre in terms of the title. So like literally and figuratively, the book is about like teamwork, togetherness, unity. And one thing that I like to say, like, I think ad nauseum at this point is, individually, you can go fast, but together we can go far. So try to, and there's a STEM incorporation as well into the project, something that my wife and I were advocates about as well, firm advocates about as well. So we try to check as many boxes as we could on the, with the project.
That's amazing. And where can people find your book on?
Yeah, so it's interesting, auspicious timing right now. So right now, today, you can find it on my website at www.arr24.com. So that's arr24.com. But we're in the process of now putting it on Amazon Kindle and bookstores, as well as bookstores like Barnes and Nobles, Target. So yeah, that'll be coming soon though. But as of right now, you can find it once again at www.arr24.com.
All right. So before we get to the last 2 things, real quick, what are your thoughts on this year's NFL season so far?
It's been when the first few weeks have been wild. It's some teams have surprised you, some teams, a lot of teams have surprised you in, I think, different ways. Who would have thought the Chiefs be 1-2?
Yeah.
What was that? As I think last time I checked, Panthers were, I don't know.
Panthers are 3-0.
They're 3-0 now. Oh yeah, Panthers are 3-0. Sam Darnold, right? It's just what a difference.
He needed
system. What a difference a system can make. So you look at it, so even just watching the Redskins defense, living in the DMV, so obviously I have more access to information, not access, but it's kind of like on my feed a little more in terms about the local team. Who would have thought, their defense would be, at the kind of bottom 5 or 3 ranks right now. So there's a lot of surprises right now within the league, which but it makes it exciting in a way. Kind of, give it anyone's game, But I know it's only the first few weeks, so you got to kind of like let the next, couple weeks develop and see how things settle. So, but it's definitely interesting to say the least.
Yeah, my Cowboys have the Panthers next, so that's gonna be a tough test for us. So let's see. With the last 2 things here before I let you go, our team is part of this foundation. We're part of the Hugh Jackson Foundation. He's a former NFL coach. I'm sure you know him. He's now he's an offensive coordinator at Tennessee State with Eddie George, and we're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe and the kids stay safe. So we'll send it to you and your wife so you guys can check out the foundation.
Absolutely, please do.
And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers right now?
Thank you. And all first responders, our military, our veterans. I say a lot. Like you guys are our true heroes. Just thank you for day in and day out, being who you are and doing what you do. And just don't as like I said, football has a lot of parallels in life, and so just knowing that there's a lot. Just these last 2 years, right? Who would have imagined just the stress, the pressure, and just the weight of it all, on not just all of us, but just especially on our first responder, healthcare workers. You name it, that they've been under, So just thank you, and please keep fighting that good fight for us. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, well said. And there it is. That wraps up episode 911 with former NFL cornerback, Super Bowl champ Kyle Arrington. Now he has a book called Piece It Together. Go follow him on all social media formats. Thank you, Kyle, for joining the show. This was truly an honor, and we would like to have you back on the show at some point so you can meet the full team. But keep up the great work, and you and your family stay safe.
Thank you. Once again, I really appreciate the opportunity, and you do the same. Looking forward to
you.
meeting the rest of the crew.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Take care.
Yep.